Going to give folks just a second to get in here. And give people just a few more seconds. We have some folks coming in. We're going to give just another minute to let folks get on in here. So we have, hello Packers fans, welcome into PackersNews.com. I'm Kassidy Hill here from Lambeau Field. A little bit of a different view today. Decided to find a quieter spot just so I could focus a little more on y'all's questions and y'all could all hear me a little bit more. So we're here in our Lambeau Field office, about an hour and 9 minutes from kickoff here for Packers versus Vikings. A game that sees two teams coming in that have kind of controlled this division the past few years, but yet two teams that are nowhere near where they want to be, probably even thought they'd be at this point of the season. But of course, the Vikings coming off of a huge win versus the 49ers on Monday Night Football. They will not have Justin Jefferson again today, though. Someone that the Packers will have, so we've got a couple of questions. We'll pop Randy's up here. Are Jaire and Campbell ready to play against the Vikings? Great question, Randy. Let's go over the inactive list. Let's see. Jaire Alexander, Devondre Campbell, Luke Musgrave, and Josh Myers are all active, meaning they will play today versus the Vikings. The list of inactives are Malik Keith, Robert Rochelle, Zane Anderson, Britton Cox Jr., and Caleb Jones. And then when you're looking at the Vikings inactive list, it looks like TJ Hawkinson will play today as well. So having Jaire Alexander play, it makes such a difference when you're figuring out how to scheme up against these Vikings, because even though Justin Jefferson isn't playing, Jordan Addison, the rookie, has really been doing well the past few weeks. And we saw Jordan Addison have a coming out game on Monday night because it was prime time. Everybody was watching against arguably the best defense in the NFL, and Jordan Addison just had himself a night. So having Jaire Alexander on the field allows him to fully take on Jordan Addison, presumably, and then allows probably Rasul Douglas and a safety to kind of come up and take care of TJ Hawkinson. Who will that safety be? Because Darnell Savage is out. That's up for debate. I do think is a little interesting, not too much, but something I just want to explain, that Robert Rochelle is on the inactive list. He joined the Packers this week. He was pulled off of the Panthers practice squad and joined the Packers active roster. A large part of that was probably because Eric Stokes went on IR and there was still so much questions around Jaire Alexander's back. But the fact that Jaire Alexander is going to be able to play today makes me think that which is why they felt comfortable to put Robert Rochelle on the inactive list. With that being said, Rebecca asked, do you think any of the questionables will be on a pitch count? It's a very fair question because they have been in the past few weeks. Aaron Jones, Christian Watson were both on a pitch count versus Detroit. Aaron Jones seemed to be on a pitch count maybe starting versus Denver, but he ended up playing a good number of snaps there. Will Jaire Alexander be on a pitch count? If Jaire Alexander is on a pitch count, in my opinion, then you make Robert Rochelle active because you need to know you've got the safety there. I mean, they've got Carrington Valentine. We also saw Carrington Valentine get picked on a lot during the last Denver game. So, do they keep Jaire Alexander on a pitch count? I don't know if they would want to have him out there if he is on a pitch count. He talked this week about his back and the issue they've been having getting him ready and why he might, want to push through it again this week. Let's actually hear from Jaire now. How is your back feeling?
It's getting better. Feeling better every day.
Is this process kind of longer than you thought it would take, or is this about what you thought it would take to kind of get back?
Yeah, this is, it was no defined time it was no definitive time on my back, just kind of how it feels. But yeah, it's frustrating sometimes.
Did the Raiders game push it?
Well, yeah, a lot of times, like I said before, we play through a lot of different things as athletes, so that definitely pushed it to the limit. But it's going against Devontae Adams. Didn't matter.
John, what started this? Was there a one play, or was it just kind of you just kind of wore down with it? What happened?
Well, I joke on him now, but I say blame Alex. Talk to Alex Magoo. But it happened in practice. It's his fault. So it's all good though. He didn't do nothing wrong at all, but it's his fault.
Alex.
Well, you were
Magoo?
Yeah. Alex Magoo.
Well, you were trying to jump around against the scout team, or what?
Something like that.
I can't go with something like that. My boss is kind of wanting me to get a little bit more.
We collided in midair, honestly. So, I don't know how the third string QB and starting corner collide, but hey, no one did nothing wrong, I should say.
It's just his fault.
Football.
Yeah, it's his fault, though.
So we heard from Jaire there about kind of the difficulty of what his back has been going through and also how it happened. That collision with Alex Magoo in practice. Not normally a collision that would happen between the third string quarterback and the starting corner, but Alex Magoo does play tight end for the squad team at times during practice, which is why that collision happened. Let's see, we've had a couple other questions come in. Let's see. Rebecca asked, what do you think the offense will try to do to change their slow starts? Callum sort of asked something along the same lines. Do you think Matt will have good play calling in this game? The slow starts have been a problem. They've been a huge problem. And it's something that the players know as well. Romeo Dobbs said this week, we've shown we can score quickly and when needed in the third quarter. Why we can't do that in the first half, I don't know. I do know that there's, been questions like over and over, both publicly and behind closed doors about what is the issue with that first half. And I'm trying to figure out a better way to say it. Simply put, they've just been lackadaisical in the first half. It's almost like they need to spot the other team, with 10 points at least before they kind of get a fire lit under them. It almost seems like a mindset. I don't even think it's necessarily play calling. Some of it might be play calling, just kind of figuring out what those scripted plays need to be in the first 15 scripted plays, and not freaking out when something goes wrong. That may be one of the bigger issues. Timothy says it's consistency. Details, mental mistakes on key plays kill their drives. That too. They've had some killer penalties, They had a really good drive going versus Denver and then a holding penalty on Elton Jenkins, who's a veteran guy that kind of killed that drive. But more than anything, it's going to be about just kind of going into that first half and believing they can score right away. Both Aaron Jones and Romeo Dobbs talked about that this week. Let's actually go ahead and hear from them now on what they think the issues are in the first half.
Just know we got to come out fast, the same way we been playing in second halves or with our backs against the wall. We got to come out with that mindset or attack, and the person who lined up across from you, attack them. Come out with urgency, when you break the huddle, push the tempo to the ball and put the stress on them.
Nobody wants to go in the first half without scoring any points, especially as an offense, as well as just with the pieces that we have. But not, man, again, it's just, we'll get over that hump. And like I say every time, I have confidence in Jen, I have confidence in our team, and it's not going to change.
So we heard from the two guys there on sort of some of the different things going on in the first half. Let's see, we've got some more questions here. Rebecca asked, Packers pass rush has its moments. Do you think they will be able to disrupt Cousins in the pocket? On paper, Kirk Cousins should have a little bit of an advantage here, but this Packers pass rush has been stout. They've had trouble with the run game for sure, but their pass rush has really been able to get into the backfield, to affect the quarterback, to get some sacks, free up Rashawn Gary or free up Preston Smith, free up Kingsley Enagbare, even, TJ Slayton, Kenny Clark. And so I think the talent is there, the opportunity is there for the pass rush to get after Cousins. But Kirk Cousins has also been pretty calm in the pocket, in a pocket that's collapsing. And so, will he have the advantage there? I think it's something to consider that he's never played well in Lambeau, and that might be nothing. This might be the week that changes, but he has never played well in Lambeau. And so if the defense can get after him early and fluster him early, then they could definitely have the advantage in this game. Let's see, we've got some more questions here. Rick asks, do you think if Love has a bad first half, we see the backup for the second half? No, I don't think that happens. For better or for worse, they're riding out this year with Love. Unless he gets hurt, you're not going to see Sean Clifford. You're not going to see Alex Magoo. I've seen that on Twitter too. So this is their year, this year and next year, but this year especially, to kind of see what Love has. And he's playing with a lot of young receivers. And that's not to excuse Love. He's made some mistakes, but he still knows this offense very well. He knows these guys better than the other guys, than Sean Clifford or Alex Magoo would. Sean Clifford in this situation. And this is they're gonna be on the hook to make a decision with Jordan Love next year. They've got to figure out what they've got. And it's only been 6 games. It typically takes about a year and a half to really kind of know what you got out of a guy. You don't give up on him after 6 games. Let's see. Timothy says, all of this sloppiness is usually due to pressing. Trying too hard always leads to mistakes. Need to relax, and it's cliche, but just need to play fast and don't press. That's a very fair point. Callum says, do you think Love can run the ball without an interception? Yes, and he's probably going to have to get out of the pocket more today. He's facing a defense that's really a blitzkrieg defense, and it's going to start kind of up front with Harrison Smith, who can just tear apart an offensive line. Elton Jenkins was asked this week what it takes to negate a guy like Harrison Smith and his blitzkrieg defense. Let's actually hear what he had to say and the solution.
I think Neil Hunter has like 9 sacks. What's the key to stopping him?
Zach Tom, Zach just going out there doing his job, just doing the game plan. I feel like the guy that we got, he's a good player, and he's gonna be about it, but he definitely get it done.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
Elton said that?
Yeah. Is it that simple? Is it on you?
I mean, it's on all of us. So yeah, he's not wrong, but yeah, I mean, we have a plan for it, so we'll be ready. So we just gotta all be on the same page. If you look at a lot of the problems that teams have with them is just leaving guys unblocked. So we should all gotta be on the same page and execute.
So we heard from the guys there. How do you stop Harrison Smith? Zach Tom. Should be that simple. What does that offensive line look like, though? Josh Myers is active today, so he should be back at center. And in fact, Rebecca actually just asked that question. Same offensive line today, or maybe make a change at left tackle for Walker. If the change came, it would be with Yosh Nijman. We saw Yosh Nijman actually play some snaps last week, and I thought he did fine. It wasn't at left tackle. It was when Josh Myers got hurt and Zach Tom had to move to center, so Yosh Nijman came in for Zach Tom. Josh Myers is fine. He'll be playing today. But, do they experiment with Yosh Nijman a little bit more? This is a guy they put a second-round tender on. So they're either going to have to play him or trade him. And if you're going to trade him, you need other teams to think he can do well as well. And so I wouldn't be shocked, Rebecca, if we do see Yosh Nijman in there today, especially just kind of depending on how the line goes. And that kind of goes along with Steven's question. How does the Packers O-line match up with the Vikings D-line? This Vikings defensive line is aggressive and tough, and they will get after a guy. They will blitz from the parking lot. And we haven't really seen defenses approach Jordan Love like that, other than that very first game that he played in versus the Kansas City Chiefs. That really hasn't been the case since. That's not how teams play him. But he knows that that's going to be the case again this weekend, and that he's going to have to move the pocket some to get away from guys like Harrison Smith. Love actually talk about that this week. Let's hear from him now.
Yeah, I don't think there's any, figuring it out. I think, he's gonna mess around and disguise looks and different things, and it's one of those things that you don't really know what he's doing until he snap the ball. So you just gotta be prepared that he's gonna drop, he's gonna blitz, and we gotta be ready for whatever he does. But most of the stuff, he's a vet. He knows what he's doing. He waits till the ball snapped to kind of tip his hat. You just kind of gotta play off what he does. I haven't really faced a defense like Minnesota, the way they run it. But yeah, I mean, it's something that, you got to have a good plan for going into it. You got to have a good week of practice, understanding the plan, understand where you want to go when they do bring those blitzes and certain looks, and just go out there on game day and execute. But really, I mean, it's about getting the ball to our playmakers and, letting them, make plays, make people miss, things like that. Our main guy in our offense is 3-3. We want to get him the ball as much as we can because good things happen when he has the ball. In the receiver room, I mean, Christian, Wicks, I mean, those are both guys that can make people miss, and they got that playmaker ability. Samari, Rome, I mean, everybody. But I think I'm confident in our receivers, and when we get the ball in the perimeter, get the ball in their hands, that they're gonna go out there, make those guys miss, and make plays.
Vegas too.
So we heard there from Jordan on what he's going to have to kind of do to face this blitz defense, and specifically Harrison Smith, to kind of get away from him. So we're a little less than an hour away from kickoff now, so we're going to start wrapping this up. One guy they will have back today, just to kind of reiterate, is Aaron Jones. That's so huge. He said this week that he's not fully back at 100% yet during the week, but he was going to sort of pace himself during the week and hope to be back at 100 by today. And, if being at 100% means 100 yards, that's something he'll take. It's something the Packers will take every day of the week as well. Tom Silverstein will have his live blog starting in about 20 minutes here that will go through the rest of the game, and then we'll have full wrap-up coverage for you here from Lambeau Field for Packers versus Vikings. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next time.